Good morning, everyone. Clint McLaughlin here with Midwest Market Management. Got Riley Sykart on with me here today. It is Thursday, June 12th. Calendar just keeps on moving. We do have a report coming out here shortly, so we'll see what the famous USDA has to tell us here today. Don't look for a whole lot of massive changes in the report here today, Riley. We'll try to maintain our focus here on weather. Just overall weather still pretty largely favorable for this time of year. Plenty of moisture. Uh, Most producers probably welcoming additional heat would be probably the biggest talking point right now. And overall, just pretty good conditions. But personally, I think we're at a level here, Riley, where a lot of this feels pretty baked into the market, and it seems to be having a hard time wanting to go down too much more. But really, there's nothing in the weather to give us that bullish spark either.
No, no bullish spark yet. And like you said, on the flip side, I think it's baked into the market. We're off to a really good start. So we're kind of caught in the middle right now, wouldn't you think?
Sure. Yeah, yep, I would agree. What do we got for temperatures coming at us? We're going to get any warm up here?
Well, let's just find out here. So looking at the maps, next 1 to 5 days, seeing if you're really far to the northern corn belt, looking at northern South Dakota, North Dakota, not getting quite the heat they need, 70s. I mean, not disappointed. I mean, you're not worried about a frost warning at 70 degrees, but everywhere else, a lot of temperatures in the 80s, and that's 85 degrees is your ideal temperature, and a lot of areas in the corn growing area at exactly that. So temperatures right now are doing exactly what farmers want to see. So, and that 1 to 5 day looks good, and then the 6 to 10 day, very similar story, just that mid 80s and ideal growing conditions. Wheat country is seeing a lot of temperatures in the 90s. What down in Texas and Oklahoma, I wouldn't say that's an issue. Clint, you'd be more of an expert on this than I would. Kansas seeing 90 plus degrees when it's about time for wheat harvest. What does that do?
Well, it's kind of a double-edged sword there because you've got wheat harvest going along, which, generally warmer temperatures are probably more favorable, but they've also had a lot of rain. So that's the areas that have had a lot of rain, you kind of get to worried about mold issues and stuff like that. But, um, the double-edged sword part of it is you got young tender crops coming up, corn, soybeans, and milo all coming back up. So, yeah, that's a mixed bag down there, and but it's also not super uncommon for it to be those type of temperatures this time of year.
Gotcha. So not a disaster, but not exactly good either.
Yeah, no, I would say that they would prefer to not see 97. 87 would probably feel a lot better down there right now.
Gotcha. Then moving in here, last 13 days, there has been some hit and miss rains heavier to the south. Sitting here in Iowa, there were some storms that came through last night. Smaller areas did have hail issues, but a large chunk area just got solid rains to help them out. So wouldn't say that hail is a widespread issue. Definitely, I've never heard of a widespread hail concern. Glenn, have you?
No, no, it's generally an isolated issue.
Exactly. So last 13 days, everybody that's gotten some rain, pretty happy to get it. Even I would say you and I were just talking about this before we started recording that Eastern Corn Belt, we've hit the point where the crops are in the ground that are going to be in the ground. So any rain that they have right now, they actually kind of want to see, because the last thing they want is, now that the crop's been planted, is for the rain to switch off.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're still clearly going to have spraying and a lot of things that need to get done. Their work is definitely cut out for them this year. It's gotten complex and It's creating a lot more of a workload. But yeah, as you mentioned, I mean, they certainly need to miss some rain so they can get some work in there. But when you have a wet start like that, Riley, as you well know, like, the roots just tend to not get down there as deep. And the last thing you want to do is just shut this water off and turn up the heat. So, at some point in time, you got to just embrace it for what it is.
Yep, I agree. So moving in here, surface soil moistures. This one I thought was interesting. You and I have kind of mentioned that eastern Iowa to northern Illinois starting to be a little bit drier. We'll see if that trend will continue. But other than that, typical regions that have been dry, Nebraska, South Dakota still could use rain out there, but not anything right now that I would say is beating a bull drum by any means. So subsoil showing about the same thing. Not going to spend a whole lot of time here. Very similar picture. Drought monitor map did come out here today. Eastern Corn Belt obviously not having any issues. Then to the west, same areas, Nebraska, South Dakota. That northern Illinois still needs some rain there. So worth watching, but not a big story. So moving in 1 to 5 day precip. Northern Corn Belt, I mean, you're getting pretty far up there into Minnesota, but if you're on the southern side, northern Iowa, showing rain potential there up to maybe an inch worth. And I mean, just what the doctor ordered. We're at the time of year now where if they could get, a rain like that once a week, you'd have a pretty good life. So overall, not any concerns in the 1 to 5 day. Down in the south, starting to dry up a little bit for those guys starting to do wheat harvest. So not any critical concerns. Clint, do you have any comments?
No, North Dakota, nice to see the follow through rains there. They've experienced some years of dryness and problems. So it's nice to see hopefully those rains materialize and keep putting down some water there in North Dakota. And I know that, South Dakota would also appreciate some rain. They're lacking here a little bit in the 1 to 5. We'll see if they make up for it in the 6 to 10.
Yep. So I will put in 6 to 10 here, and some blippy stuff, hit and miss. We'll have to wait and see what the follow through is on that. So getting to the time of year where rains are looking really spotty. That Minnesota to Wisconsin region looks like they're going to continue to get rain. They're starting to get to the point where they're pushing 2 weeks now where they've just had fairly consistent rainfall up there. So this one cell in the eastern Iowa to western Illinois region intrigues me, but I'm not really a big game changer, I would say, Clint.
So. No, but it is an area that, is lacking a little bit. So we'll see how that shakes out.
Yep. So when we put it all together, looks a little bit darker than you think. That 1 to 13 day shows there's a lot of rain and a good chunk of the growing area. So getting to the time of the year now, fully rain makes grain. So it's already kind of caked into the market that we're off to a good start, but not any reason for the bulls to start beating up the drum yet either. So that's all I got today, Clint.
Sounds good, Riley. I appreciate you taking time to put them together. As always, you can check us out at midwestmarketmanagement.com and like us or follow us on Facebook, and you'll see some more reports out there. We'll see what the Gov has to say here today. 11 a.m. We got about 30 minutes until we get into the report. So appreciate everybody tuning in. Have a great day.
This material has been prepared by a sales or trading employee or agent of Midwest Market Management and is in the nature of a solicitation. This material is not a research report prepared by of Midwest Market Management Research Department. By accepting this communication, you agree that you are an experienced user of the futures markets, capable of making independent trading decisions, and agree that you are not and will not rely solely on this communication in making trading decisions. Distribution in some jurisdictions may be prohibited or restricted by law. Persons in possession of this communication indirectly should inform themselves about and observe any such prohibition or restrictions. To the extent that you have received this communication indirectly and solicitations are prohibited in your jurisdiction without registration, the market commentary in this communication should not be considered a solicitation. The risk of loss in trading futures and/or options is substantial, and each investor and/or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated by simulated historical tests of strategies, is not indicative of future results. Trading advice is based on information taken from trades and statistical services and other sources that of Midwest Market Management believes are reliable. We do not guarantee that such information is accurate or complete, and it should not be relied upon as such. Trading advice reflects our good faith judgment at a specific time and is subject to change without notice. There is no guarantee that the advice we give will result in profitable trades.